Hello and welcome to ARK, the complete series. Well, today is the day we're going to be taking on the BroodMother. We've been out gathering tons and tons of resources. We've been gathering all sorts of things for these saddles that we need to make. We need to make 19 of these ascendant Megatherium saddles, and it's a saddle that we found in the swamp cave. But the resource demands on this are absolutely huge. I mean, we need much more resources for this than we do for the actual wreck saddles. It's just crazy, like, what they're asking for. But yeah, we've done it. We've spent hours and hours, days and days, and we've finally got there. So for the cementing paste, we had quite a bit to begin with, but eventually, because we've got like S Plus running on this server, we've been able to get quite a bit of Achatina paste. We've got 4 Achatinas, so we're able to use the animal tender as well as the item collector to gather lots and lots of Achatina paste from those Achatinas. We've also been going back down to the swamp cave several times with our Beelzebufos since the last episode. So we've got plenty of cementing paste and Achatina paste to do this now. We did have quite a lot of fibre, interestingly enough. But to get more of that, I've actually been running around outside of the base regularly with the dire bear Barry. Ideally, we could have done with a Therizino. Those are absolutely brilliant for gathering fibre. But the dire bear's been really great, I must admit. I mean, he goes out and, you know, harvests up the plants that are outside the base. Just every so often I have to stop to like drop the berries and seeds he picks up, but yeah, that didn't take much effort to do that and get all the fibre we need. Hide, I mean, wow, the biggest requirement we needed was hide. Now for that, again, I mean, we've been gathering quite a lot of hide over the period of time that we've been playing the game. Probably thrown away a lot more in the process without thinking about it, but I've ended up with a lot of hide because of all the Rexes that we've been breeding. I mean, you don't get that much hide off the baby Rexes, but I mean, you'll get a lot more off of like a big Rex, believe me. But to get all the extra hide that we needed, I was going around this southwest area regularly with the Thylacoleo. Toby, he just gathers hide like there's just no tomorrow. He's been getting tons and tons of hide. I mean, I've just been out there a short while ago. He came back with about, I think it was about 10,000. The target, we needed about 9,000 hide to finish off. He came back with over 10,000, no problem. The big problem has been metal ingots. Metal ingots, oh wow, that's been something. That's taking forever. I mean, if we had any sort of like spare armor, weapons, tools, anything, you know, we didn't want anymore, that's been going into the grinder. Otherwise, we've been doing a lot of trips out there with Arthur, the Ankelo. We started off doing all the metal outside of the base that we've got, where we've got a forge, but eventually I went over to that little hill that's in the redwood forest. There's a lot of metal over there, and it respawns pretty quickly for me, a lot quicker than it was around the base. So I was just going over there, leaving Arthur over there while me and Rainbow came back with the metal, and we were able to get a lot of metal over time. I mean, the trouble is it takes like 2 metal to make 1 ingot, so yeah, it took a heck of a long time to do it, but we've finally done it. We've as far as I'm aware, going by the calculations, we've now actually got enough to make 19 of these saddles. I mean, it's probably going to be pretty much overkill, so like taking 19 Megatheriums into, you know, a boss fight. But I mean, you know, the options there. You can take up to 20 dinos. We want 1 Eutrianus in there. May as well fill up the rest. So we're gonna take 19 of these Megatheriums, and they're all gonna have these ascendant saddles. So it should be interesting to see how it plays out. So, let's get started. Okay, well, I've fallen foul of this trap before in the past. This saddle here, the blueprint for it will get me a saddle that'll do, what, 104.7 armor. Now that is seriously high. It's way higher than I would have normally used. Probably about like the 80s is what I'm normally getting for like Mastercraft saddles when I'm using Rexes. But it would be an absolute waste if all I did was just make these saddles as they are. And it's quite a while ago where ARK introduced, well, not ARK, Wildcard introduced this thing here, the crafting skill. Far as I'm aware, when we started off, it used to be called the crafting speed or something. But then they made this stat, which is your crafting skill. Now, you can put points into all these little skills that you've got. Usually you tend to get spread around. I mean, I can't remember what the setting is. You get to a certain level and you can outpace an actual raptor, if you've got a reasonably high like movement speed, for instance. For myself, it's usually going into health, weight, fortitude. Sometimes I'll do oxygen. I did do oxygen on this round because it was taking me a while before I eventually got round to making scuba gear. But the crafting skill early on, it just sucked. You would put levels into that and you were getting a very, very poor return, I would say. Having a character that had, levels spread out amongst all these stats and having some of them put into crafting skill just seemed totally pointless. And I think after a while, players kind of like cottoned on that the best strategy is to actually put all of your points into the crafting skill. And what that does is, the higher the percentage that you've got in your crafting skill, it increases your chances of actually making something that's better than what the blueprint would normally give you. So you start off at 100%, and as you raise that crafting skill up, it sets like a higher ceiling. At the moment, 100% literally means you'll just produce exactly what the blueprint says. But as you pump more like levels into your crafting skill, it sets this higher ceiling on what you could potentially get better on a saddle. It's a random roll of the dice, to be honest. And what you could get something that's just slightly better. I mean, I might get something like 105, like woo, whoop-de-doo. But I mean, it's still worth trying. I mean, I may as well, put it to the test and see what we can get if I, put the crafting skill right up to the maximum I can get. I mean, I'm capped out at 105 at the moment, but it'll be really interesting to try that out. Now, it only works on blueprints, specifically these ones like this. I mean, if you use like a normal primitive blueprint, if you can get those. I mean, these are what you get through engram points. You spend engram points to get these, and these are just primitive level. If you actually get a primitive level blueprint, from a loot drop, your crafting skill has no impact on that whatsoever. It's only these things like, your ramshackle apprentice ones. It's the better ones. It's the only time you would use it. And there's no point, whacking up your crafting skill to high level if you're only going to produce one item. Because, Murphy's Law, you'll end up getting a very, very low level return on that. It's only worthwhile when you're going to do a lot. Now, the trouble is, as you can see, I mean, I'm maxed out and I've got no more levels to spend. So what we're going to have to do is we need to reset all these. To do that, we need a mindwipe tonic, and I have made some of those already. So we'll grab one of those. Pretty high demands, I must admit, they come with. You're talking about 24 cooked meat, 200 measure berries, 72 narcotics, 20 rare flowers, 20 rare mushrooms, and 72 stimulants. That's each. I'm just having a look. Actually, what did it say there? Yeah, it's usable once every 24 hours. So that's something to bear in mind. The other thing you got to bear in mind as well is on the default settings. So that's like on an official server. You take one of these. The last time you couldn't actually use it again until you actually leveled up your character, and that's pretty much the default setting. Now on this server, touchwood, I remember to do it. Mine's pretty much an infinite one. Doesn't really matter. That doesn't apply. So I mean, I'm maxed level, which means if I took this by default, I would be stuck with these levels for good. I've had the sense to take a capture of all this information. I know what my levels are, so I can put them back again. So the plan is we're going to take this mindwipe tonic. We're going to make all of these saddles, see what we get back, and then I'll take another one, and we'll put our points back. So here we go. Right, so we've been reset right back to the basics. So let's just see if we put everything into the crafting skill. So that's 105 levels, everything. It's a bit, you can't tell much from that, to be honest. But I'm just going to put everything we've got into that. Still going. Still going. I remember the days when you used to like have your default character was up to level 100. Right, that'll do me. Right, so we're on 105. Now, there's very little I can carry or anything. So I'm just going to have to hope that we can fit everything into this smithy. Fortunately, I've got an S Plus smithy as opposed to the normal smithy, so we do have quite a lot of storage capacity. Now, we forgot how to make everything, which isn't exactly helpful, but right, we'll pull enough resources in to make that. So look at how many resources we pulled in for just one single saddle. So we'll craft that. Off you go. We'll see what we get out of that one. So by default, the normal blueprint would give us 104.7. And we've maxed out our crafting skill to 1,140. So what did we get? 112.5. So our crafted bonus, we got a 9.7% boost on that, which is not bad for the first one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I mean, there's no point, it's going to take ages if I'm going to do all 19 of them. So I'm just going to keep making all of these, and then once I've got them all, I'll bring you back and we can have a look and see what we got. Well, to make things easier, I've ended up putting a filter in for the blueprint. I was pulling so many resources in, I had to keep scrolling up and down to sort of like keep selecting the blueprint every time I pulled things in. So we're going to take that filter out. So these are all the saddles we've produced. So pretty varied. We've got one there which is 105, so that's only just a fraction better. We've got 144.6, 145.6, 142, 141. So it is very varied. There's a few of them in the 130s, which is good. But I mean, that's the thing about this crafting skill. All it does, it sets a kind of a maximum bonus that you could get, and then it's just a roll of the dice between, you know, what the lowest bonus is and what the maximum bonus is. So yeah, if you're just going to make one of these things, it isn't worth it. I mean, I suppose it's not that big a deal, but if you're going to gather a lot of resources, you might be like pretty disappointed if you end up with that when that was the original. I mean, it's hardly a boost, you know, 0.3%. I'd be like I'd be pretty frustrated if that's all I'm getting. So yeah, if you're going to use that crafting skill, it's best to do it when you're going to, you know, you've got tons of resources and you're going to make a lot of them. So these things are going to weigh quite a bit. I've got to get my points all put back again, and then we're going to take all of these over to the red beacon, and we'll get our Megatheriums all prepped up and ready to go. See you shortly. Okay folks, listen up. You've managed to do the Gamma one. Didn't have much problems there. You've now got super duper saddles, so you should be able to take on the Beta one now. Okay? I've got confidence in you. I reckon we can go all the way to the Alpha. So let's get this done. Right then. All of these have now got ascendant saddles. Just random, I've just popped, you know, whichever one's on each one, just gone around the front ones, then round the back ones at the back. So they've all got all their good saddles. Now, Grit over here, we did find I found this journeyman's saddle. I'm pretty sure I found that in the swamp cave at some point. Haven't found anything better since, so it's not that big of a deal as long as he doesn't take, you know, like major hits. As long as I can take him, keep him out of line of fire of the BroodMother, we should be fine. I mean, when we get to the Overseer, I really need good saddles. In fact, actually, I'm going to need a really good one for the dragon, because that thing can set you on fire. But anyway, because we've done the Gamma BroodMother already, we're just going to do the Beta one for now. That one needs 5 talons, 5 sarco skins, 5 sauropod vertebrae, and 5 titan boa venom. Yeah, right. So plunk all that lot into there. Right, here goes. I don't expect that much of an issue, to be honest, because we're up against the beta. I mean, we managed to handle the gamma okay. I mean, I know the Rexes that we had, they kind of tanked it. I mean, they lasted so far against the beta, but they didn't have like any decent mutations, didn't have any decent saddles or anything. At least these ones don't have mutations as far as I remember. I've leveled them up to 300. About the kind of like the best I could do at the time. That's not the row you want, man. You want this row here. Give him a good bit of courage. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm trying to remember. We got them. I was using them to sort of like basically breed out the Rexes. That was it. I was doing quite a lot of Rex breeding, and still am actually. So I've been using the opportunity to get them to level up by taking on taking out those Rex babies. So about 40 more minutes now. Keep going, you lot. Come on. Just get back in there. You know you can do it. So that's not bad. I mean, some of them are hitting for like 1500 plus. I mean, they'd probably do better if I'd getting decent ones that could do, if I had decent melee levels, this would go a lot more quicker. But we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to keep giving them a courage roll. I'm just wondering if I could get some of them to go around the back, because that would be beneficial. Yeah, I could really do with some of them going around the back maybe, because I don't know if they've all got range of her. I mean, the Rexes didn't really... Well, like, the Rexes did alright. I mean, just primitive saddles. Weren't particularly well done for, like, mutations or anything. We didn't have a Eutrianus at that stage either. The plan was I was just going to basically do this with Rexes, to be honest. The only reason I'm doing them with the Megatheriums is because the cryopods came out. It seemed like a quicker way to quickly get back in here and get ourselves some decent, mounted element, really, more than anything. Because these things are ideally suited to the BroodMother, to be honest. But the plan originally was to just breed up a really good army of Rexes and then just take them right through to the end. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how these lot do. Ooh, wow. Hang on a minute. Ooh, we're up against an Araneo ourselves. Hang on. You take those spiders on, will you? Come on, folks, you do that. Well, so far so good. I mean, we're almost at the end. We'll have to see how well they do, how much health they've got at the end. I mean, they're taking, even with their saddles, they're still taking a few hundred damage. And that's going to get worse against the actual Alpha. Fully expect a lot more damage from the Alpha. Focus on her, will you? I mean, I appreciate the enthusiasm for the little spiders, but there's a big spider there we need to deal with first. Priorities here, dudes and dudettes. Priorities. Nicely done. Ooh, we've got tech boots. Right, hopefully there's no spiders still alive. Right, so there's nothing in there. So you're up close. How are you doing? Ooh, wow. That's got me worried now. That's quite low. That health is quite low. Yeah, I'm a bit concerned. I really could have done with better melee damage on these things. Yeah, not all of them. They're going to come out with this Struth. Some of the... Ooh, wow, this one just barely survived. I'm seriously having second thoughts of using these against an Alpha. I think I really should have gotten some proper mutated ones. Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise, because these things I was really expecting these to be able to hold out because of the saddles, but I think there's one of them. This one here, for instance, here. I mean, that's a high saddle, but I mean that nearly almost bought the farm. I think we might have to go back to the drawing board here because these are not going to last against the. I mean, I can guarantee I'm going to lose at least, well, a few of them probably, because that was just the beta. Okay, well that kind of changes things. I think I'm gonna have to go back out and tame up some decent Megatheriums. I mean, it's going to take me a while to get the Rexes, and I've gone to all this trouble with the saddles, but I seriously need better health. So I think what we're going to do is... hello, you stuck up there. Okay. Right. Going to bring these two over. You can start healing these ones up. You get the healing. Off you go. We'll get this one to do its healing as well. But yeah, that's... I'm absolutely surprised, to be honest. Well, to be honest, I'm not really. I mean, they're just basic... Oh, I didn't want to do that. Wrong one. You need to do some healing. You need to heal all these folks up. Yeah, I mean, I thought they would do okay against the beta, but I think it is literally because these things that don't have any mutations. I mean, 500 melee, 23k of health. Wow, that just does not cut it. I mean, saying no mutations. I'm gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to go back and find out what the levels are on this on the breeders. Right, so you give me them. We'll pop these into the box here because we've got enough. I'll get my things back. I brought all the other stuff along to take on the alpha, but there's no way I'm going to do that. I mean, it's not a big deal if we lost the entire army, to be honest. But on the other hand, I mean, it just seems, wow, that seems like quite a waste if I set them against the alpha. Hang on a minute, did I pick you up? No, I didn't. Let me pick you up. We'll leave them to get healed. Right, we're going to head back and find out what the breeding pair are like. See you shortly. Yeah, I think this has just come back and bit me on the butt, really. I'm looking at these. I mean, that's one of the female breeders, and that's the male. So they're the same stats. 6,000 base health, 332 melee. Now they are at 244. And I took those lot up to at least 300. Most of them over 300. So they went up to about 23k health, 500 melee damage, which obviously doesn't cut it. Now I know when I got this this crew, at least when I started putting them together, the plan was I was just going to use them to go out and get as much element as I could, as quickly as I could. So that was really just going to be doing a lot of runs of the Gamma BroodMother. And the plan then was to basically get as much elements as I could to make the tech replicator to then make cryopods. But obviously we don't need to do that anymore. So yeah, I think this is what you get for cutting corners, basically. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back out and find some better Megatheriums. Oh well. Well, we've been back out into the field trying to get better Megatheriums. I've got it's like a bit of a mixed bag. I managed to find a total of 8. 140s, 145s. I think that was the only 150 we've got. But you look at the levels on these, they're actually low compared to what we've already got. We've got like 6,000 health, 332 melee. So these are all extremely low. So I'm actually surprised. I mean, to be honest, I was expecting to go out there and get something like really good. So that's like the nearest we've got, 313. So I don't know whether we were kind of lucky on the first pass or whether we were extremely lucky, but I did manage to find one more out of all that lot. So basically I just went in for a sample of about 8. It took forever. But this dude here, it's quite handy that it's a dude because I've got got plenty of females to breed with. He's got 6660 in health. Low melee compared to these lot. I mean, they're on 6068, but they do better for the melee. You can see, I mean, they don't have any like mutations or anything, so that's something I'm going to have to really focus on. So yeah, so I'm going to have to get all these other female breeders out, and then what we're going to have to do is breed them all up with this dude here, and we're just going to have to get some seriously decent health levels, much better melee levels. Just out of curiosity, I want to see what I can get for one level of melee, because I wasn't getting that much, I don't think, with the previous Megatheriums. So we level you up, what do we get for you? So yeah, it's only gone up by about 5. 313. Yeah, it's only going up by about 5, so you think that's... Yeah, I'm gonna have to seriously commit to some major breeding. So this is gonna take a while. We've been doing quite a lot of breeding, I mean a lot. I've getting up to H3M3, so that's 3 mutations in health, 3 mutations in melee, but it's really difficult trying to tease out that one last level in health that I could do with. I mean, it's like the original breeder, he's on 6660 for health. What was that, 331 I think for melee. If we go over to this dude here, he's up to 7548 health, 366, almost 367 in melee. But it's kind of interesting actually, because these are the females, H3M2s. They've got like way more mutations on the mother's side, so that's it, we've gone beyond the limit. But there's nothing on the father's side, and yet even trying to just get that one extra level out is very, very difficult, I'm finding. So I've kind of like gone all the way back to this original breeder. I'm just double checking, is that where we got you from? Yeah, that's how we got this one. So that's how we went and got that extra 1 level in melee, but it's really the health I got it done with. I mean, what I found out is I can actually get one of these beasties up to about like 30k health, 547 melee, if I can basically put in about 60 levels. That's a lot of sort of like leveling to do. 50 is not so bad. Getting that extra 10 takes a heck of a lot of Rexes to go through that lot. But then it actually kind of like got me thinking, what if I actually just change the team a bit, instead of doing a complete rebuild of the team, coming in with completely new Megatheriums with like more health and more melee? What if we just make a slight change? In other words, we bring in some support, because I mean we're going in there with 19 Megatheriums, and yeah, they still struggled, I think, against the BroodMother at beta level, because I don't think they were probably surrounding her, so you're probably just seeing, you know, a front lot taking a lot of damage and not everybody getting a fair chance, I suppose. But what if we actually provide them better support to actually try and keep them alive longer? Because the Alpha BroodMother is going to be a lot more tough. So yeah, let's try that strategy. Okay then, so these are the original Megatheriums. I figure that, you know, since we're breeding up a new lot, well, we can use these as a sort of like a test against the Alpha BroodMother. Because they won't be doing any more battles after this anyway, so, you know, yeah, why not? So what I've done is I've taken 2 of the originals out, and I've taken Grit out as well, because, well, I've kind of grown attached to that one. We've bred up a new Udry. I've bred up 2 Deodons. Now, these ones, instead of actually healing the Megatheriums after the fight, I'm going to actually get these to heal them during the fight. The only trouble is my plan's gone a bit, well, it's gone a bit out the window, because I'm used to being able to get these things to do auto courage. Apparently Wildcard took that option away from the server, and they did it quite a while ago. Now, I haven't really used the server up till this playthrough, because normally I just play the whole game on a single computer. And so I've basically just found out that I can't do that. So I was actually going to be like sitting on the back of a an actual deer done, but I can't actually do that now. Now, one thing is I've only got a basic saddle for this one here. I really need a decent one because the trouble with the Megatheriums is they can't keep the broodmother in place. The Rexes are good big tanky dinos. I mean, that might be another strategy to try, like, but we'll put this saddle on you, dude. I should say dudette. There you go. And then we'll try this strategy. So let's see. You are who's group 1? Right. So Mash. Right. Okay. I'm gonna put you on to. I'll have to put you on. Yeah, I'll put you on to passive healing as soon as we start, dude. So let's get this show on the road. Because I've split these Megatheriums up into groups. They're all in group 3. The ones at the back, they're in group 1. So I'm going to send group 1 in first. Just get you to start your passive healing. I'll get group 1 in first. I'm going to see if I can try and maneuver it so I can get the rest of them somewhere else. Because that's the big thing, is I need to be able to try and surround the broodmother. Right, there's a bit of courage for you. Go get it. Go on. So that's the half of them. Ooh. Oh, that's gone out the window because they're all on neutral anyway. Okay, fair enough. That was a good idea, except it's gone out the window as like anything else. It's clearly gone out the window. Now, why aren't you? Mash, dude. Oh, it doesn't help that we're getting stuck here. Right, let's try this. So, oh, I don't want to be standing right next to the broodmother. I've got no chance here. That's not the plan. Man, what are you doing? Right, tell you what. Mish, come here. See if we can sneak you around the back. Mish, where have you gone? Yo, Mish. Where's Mish gone? Mish, come here. Where the heck is Mish? Right, come here, Mish. Come round here. Yeah, now we're at the front. That's not helping me. And I don't think this is helping being here either, but never mind. Right, you get going as well, dude. Right, so we're at the back of the broodmother, which is a bit safer, I think. At least I think we're at the back. Oh no, we've already lost 2. Oh, we've lost... Oops, truth, this is not going to plan. I was trying to surround her. I think they are surrounding her, but... are you bothering? Are you actually going to bother to, like, you know, do your passive healing? This is not going to plan. This is not supposed to be how it played out. Hang on a minute. So why are you not you're supposed to be helping, dude. Well, it doesn't help. Why are you not? They seem to be turning off their passive healing for some strange reason. Now that's just plain weird. Yeah, so you're on passive healing. You're on passive healing. Well, why weren't you doing passive healing in the first place? Because we're getting passive healing now. Well, this is just plain weird, this. So I can see they're doing... Well, hang on. That Mish is in trouble, I think. Is there anything down there bothering you? No. Unless you're taking hits from the broodmother. Come on. So I think we must have lost quite a lot of Megatheriums already. What puzzles me though is why those two suddenly stopped doing passive healing, because they had tons of food on them. I mean, it's oh hello. We're a bit too close for my comfort. We're outside my comfort zone. Oh no, can't do that. Well, we've got... hang on a minute. She is getting way too close now. So this is the trouble. I wanted to have her on auto courage, and then I could have literally just spent time on those Daedons and getting them to do passive healing. You've got... it's still got food in it, but it's like it's disabling the passive healing for some strange reason. I mean, are you back on... oh, you're out of food, so okay, I can buy that. I mean, at least you've run out of food, so that's fair enough, like, but... oh, come on, come on! I mean, they're taking quite a lot of knocks, I must admit. It's a pity, because the original plan was I wanted to have one group go and take on the BroodMother, then the other group would, but the trouble is because they're on neutral, they went in straight away. At least the second group did, I should say. You need to get out of here. Yodel, back up, back up, back up, back up. You got no chance. Tell you what, let's go all in. There's nothing else you two can do, so you may as well help. Not that I fancy your chances against the BroodMother really, but you know. I dread to think how many of those women's saddles we've lost. Come on. About 9.5 minutes, so we're about 3/4 of the way through, I'd say. The trouble is we're poisoned as well, so... I need to stay a bit further back, because Yodel here is getting poisoned. And it's not helping the stamina. The stamina will be running down. Come on! Go Team Furry! I mean, I'm quite relieved that they actually did at least surround the BroodMother, because that's usually been a problem with the Rexes, or at least I've found that in the past. Yo, Mish, come here. What are you on there? Right. Come on, dude, you may as well do something useful. Oh, hang on a minute. You won't. Nah, it's not in the slightest interest. It's possibly because it's on passive. I think it might be down to just like 2, 3, 4. So out of 17, I think we're down to about 4. I mean, they're hitting pretty well, so that's at least a good sign. I mean, that's a thought. Maybe there's just like, oh, that's, I can see one of them's going down already. Maybe I've just went in with too many. Because I mean, if they're, yeah, if I could try to find a way to get them in like groups, if you will, to, you know, where they're just going a few at a time. The trouble is that's a bit difficult while they're on there. I mean, we do. Nah. Oh, now Mish is interested. I think I must have just had the group on. The group, they must have been stuck on a group, that's probably why Mish was ignoring it. To be honest, there's not a great deal Mish can do. There you go. Mish is gone already. Poor Mish. Right, we need to back up because I don't want to be facing the BroodMother. I mean, you don't get this sort of problem while you're, you know, if you got Rexes, because the Rex is a big tall thing, so they shield you from the BroodMother anyway. Oh no! I don't think there's any going to be any of them left now. Come on! We've got 6.5 minutes left. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to just about do it. Come on! Come on, you lot, you can do it! Yes! Oh, shine a light. No, that was the Dadon's one. We don't want the Dadon one. I want to try and get... That's something else I tried. They did at least try to eat something. So that's something. I was just curious to see if, you know, by giving them some veggie cakes that might help, but yeah, never mind. Because I mean, those things are omnivores, so they'll eat pretty much anything. Because it's something you would try, like, you know, with the you know, Therazinos against, say, like the dragon, for instance. Oh, Struth, I need tons of these things. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There's nothing on you. Right, I need to find any more. There's got to be some more, some around here. Surely there must be some more. Here's one. It's a case of salvage as many of these saddles as I possibly can. Oh. Oh. Oh, that was painful. I don't remember jumping on you. So let's see. So there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 of them left. So that's true. That's 14. I lost 14. So I've lost 5 saddles. Ooh, wow, that was brutal. That was brutal. I honestly, I thought it would go better than that. So did you actually... oh, now you've used up a lot of your veggie cake, which is interesting. Wow, you've hardly got any health left. How did you do for veggie cake? So that veggie cake might have actually helped then. Yeah, looks like might need a different strategy, but the main thing is we actually beat the BroodMother on Alpha. So now... oh, that's a thought. So there's the flag. Oh, so you've got it right. So you've got the element, thank goodness. You've got the trophy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was a lot more brutal than I expected. That's true. Yeah, I need to sit down and contemplate this. Then I'll be back. Well, this is all that's left of the group. I can't believe it, to be honest. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I really thought they would do a lot better than that. I mean, these things are going in with, what, 23k in health, 504 melee, and they've got, well, this one's got 131 armor. And yet they still managed to pretty much wipe. They just about survived these 4. I think I was extremely lucky, to be honest. But I did really expect them to do a lot better. The Dadons, I don't normally take Dadons into the boss arenas. I usually just use those to heal the dinos up once the actual battle's finished. So then we can move on to the next one. But yeah, that's quite surprising actually. Because I mean, normally I would go in there with like just a ton of Rexes. The only reason I didn't was because, you know, I'd already started with these things. I mean, we put all this lot together to take on the Gamma BroodMother. The plan was to harvest the element from there, and then we could use that to build the tech replicator, and then we'd use that to make the cryopods. But of course, didn't wildcard change plans, and then said, well, actually, you can make cryopods in the actual loot crates, and then they decided to make it even easier by allowing you to make them in the actual beacons. So I thought I'll at least give this a try, like, in comparison. But I mean, I think if I'm going to come back here again, I mean, I've gone so far with the breeding for the Gen 2, so I might bring those back just out of curiosity to see how they do, because they'll have about 30k health. Because if we look at these ones, they're level 300 from a 244 parent, so they've gone up. Hang on a minute. Yeah, from a 244 parent, so they've gone up by 56 points versus potentially I'm talking about pushing them right up to 60 levels. So I don't know. I mean, they might do better with you know, more health, like 30k of health instead of just like 23. I don't know if that'll be enough to tip it in my favour. But to be honest, I think if I do have to come back here, I'd be probably better off just going back in as usual with just a big Rex army and let them just wipe the floor with the BroodMother. To be honest, they're much better. At least I've found anyway. I mean, I could actually have like a combination of, so like Rex as maybe the tank. So you can send, some of those up first. They'll do all the tanking and what have you. Then we send these lot in afterwards to then, put in the melee, because they can hand out quite a lot of damage, to be fair. The problem I was noticing is that BroodMother kept turning around and it wasn't doing much good for the Utri. I mean, the Utri's health went down pretty quickly as well. So I should have probably stayed back a bit more than paid more attention to her health. But yeah, we've now done the Gamma, the Beta, and the Alpha BroodMother, which means we've got all of the trophies to be able to take on the actual Overseer at all 3 levels. But since we lost all those Megatheriums, it seems only fitting we'll leave a reminder. It's the Expendables, lost but not forgotten. So that's it for this episode. I do hope you enjoyed watching it. If so, then do please leave a like, because that'll help me out a great deal. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to see more content like this, then yes, do please subscribe. Just remember to click the little bell icon though, because then you get notifications when I send new content out. If you've got any comments, got any suggestions, if you want to leave any feedback at all, please post that in the comments section below. Till the next episode, thanks very much for watching. Bye! Ah, so that's why it didn't work. If I put this pig onto enable passive healing, it's doing passive healing. If I move it, it stops doing passive healing. Foobar. Oh well, you learn new things every day.